I, I, what's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, going to be taking a look at Cardano against USDT. Going to be taking a look at some of these key technical aspects of price action moving forward. Going to be assessing some of these pivotal levels of support I believe we're going to be interacting with in the kind of near future here, as price action has been very vertical after finding key support around the grand slapping zone, just around $1 there. And so now will we have enough momentum to kind of continue upward and see that $3-4 level, or are we going to get rejected off of a big fat kicking, pushing, and shoving zone that's going to send us right back down to where we came from? Let me know what you're doing with your Cardano. Do you trade? Do you hold? What do you like? Do you just let the price unfold? What's your kind of short or long-term kind of perspective moving forward? Do you think Cardano is headed to the moon, heading to $10 perhaps, or do you think it's all going to be coming to an end soon? Now, jump right into it. We're looking at this kind of descending trend line here that I started back in the middle of March of 2020. We have price action above it, interacting, kind of bouncing off it, coming away from it, correlating back to it, dropping down below at the beginning of September of 2020, trading downward, breaking upward, finding support on key levels, interacting with it as resistance multiple times before breaking upward at the end of kind of like January, beginning of February there, and then upon breaking upward, we've interacted with these kind of key dollar levels very quickly, pulling back aggressively, interacting with resistance around $1.50, retracing all the way down to $1 with swing lows of like 99 cents kind of thing, but ultimately finding support kind of around $1 with some pretty significant resistance around $1.45. This kind of zone about under $1.50 and kind of above $1.38 was very significant until the kind of fourth time we were able to interact with it after this third rejection higher high off of $1.50 again, but this kind of technical higher high was kind of pretty short-term bullish in my opinion. And so at this final pullback, we broke all the way down through this big resistance all the way down to the ascending trend line yet again, bouncing off of like 92 cents. But that was ultimately what was necessary to allow the uptrend to continue, and now we are seeing higher highs, and the rally seems to be wanting to continue. And so ultimately, I do believe resistance is approaching here as a pullback is necessary, or as we are quite vertical from upon finding support from that kind of key level to current price action. In the past kind of 20 days, we're up 111%, and so that's definitely going to be a key take profit level approaching. When we consider EngineeringRobo, along with these Fibba Lamborghini levels, we can see kind of these key kind of levels of support and resistance I believe we're going to be interacting with here. The 0.618 at $1.47 is going to be a pretty decent local, sort of like midterm low if we do end up getting rejected and trading sideways in a bit of a channel similar to price action at the end of February and all the way up until the kind of beginning of May. And so, although with this buy for and moon coming back into play, we have some pretty kind of like, we have some suggestions that price action could continue further, and we could see some higher highs in the kind of like $3, perhaps $4 range before we see some sideways. We have the 0.786 line correlating with $1.87. That looks to be a likely short-term bullish pullback level that we could kind of wick down to in the very near future. A good buy level to be like another buy level under $2 could be approaching, perhaps under $2.10 at the kind of lowest. And so we're still looking quite bullish long term, in my opinion. By far, moon coming back into play, like I said, and so EngineeringRobo being bullish again. Although we have, when we consider the kind of fear and greed index, we have kind of a new kind of perspective come into play when we realize that Cardano has been in the FOMO zone since the kind of beginning of February there. Since the kind of third interaction with that ascending trend line, we broke upward, and we've been kind of in this very volatile range ever since. And so this is the other of one of two kind of things that happen in the FOMO zone, and so price action could very well enter the FOMO zone or get rejected off it. So as we come up to it, we could see rejections right off of it, or we can come up into it and then kind of come right out of rejection out of it kind of thing. And so that's because there's a lot of like sell pressure in the FOMO zone, so that's a key kind of take profit level. And so I mean, price action doesn't usually tend to want to be in there for very long, although if the coin is bullish enough and there is enough FOMO present and there's enough tops being bought, the rally will continue and prices could be very volatile upward. Sell pressure will bring it down in a very volatile manner as traders are taking profit kind of as quick as they can, but FOMO is present, so bottoms are bought, tops are bought, rally continues. And so I mean, if the coin is bullish enough to fight all this sell pressure within the FOMO zone, then we are likely to see some very volatile price action. And so in the kind of FOMO zone here, we're going to want to kind of be careful when jumping into this project as a a big retracement, a perhaps 26% pullback, 30% kind of pullback could occur at any kind of time. And so I mean, say we get rejected lower high off of $2.36, 20% pullback would be 21% pullback would be to that kind of 0.786 level there around $1.87, and a 36% pullback would be to that kind of 0.618 line, a 37% pullback rather. So lots going on for Cardano. If you held from the fear zone, if you're more of a investor, holder, not a trader, and you held through all this kind of crazy sideways, so your last buy opportunity was the end of May of 2020, and then you sold at the ADA first interaction, you would have made 700% in 255 days. If you held to current price levels, you would have been up 3,800% in just about a year. So definitely plenty of ways to go about buying and holding, short or long term. When we consider the price of Cardano against the price of Bitcoin, we can see some very bullish price action as prices are holding and gaining against Bitcoin. We seem to be looking to approach our resistance found around 5302 Satoshi. We have price action breaking 3091 Satoshi back in the middle of May here. And so with this volatile kind of upward, I do suspect some kind of sideways to occur. And so I mean, very bullish accumulation upward along ultimately finding support around 2117 Satoshi for a matter of weeks. And then so now with this kind of buy volume present, I do believe we are likely to continue. When we consider EngineeringRobo along with these Fibba Bikini Linguini lines, we have kind of some more bullish suggestions kind of coming into play. We have the super buy present, we have the buy for and moon present yet again, buy for during all this kind of consolidation as Cardano held against the price of Bitcoin, and then the moon just before the breakout as we kind of broke upward and retested the slapping zone around 2338 Satoshi and under 2458 Satoshi. Now we seem to be interacting with, I do believe, the kind of nice key levels 0.618 and 0.786. 0.618 around the 3203 Satoshi. That's going to be a pretty midterm local bottom if we were to be super sideways and say we trade in a really crazier manner kind of thing. We could very well kind of wick all the way down to those kind of ranges, but I suspect perhaps a local target of 3964 Satoshi at this 0.786 line. Although we are quite bullish, and we do look like we are going to kind of hold against Bitcoin, although momentum could change at any moment as we are in the FOMO zone. Speaking of Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin doing? We have some crazy price action volatility in the market, a break downward. We have traders worried, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We have breaking news coming out about certain whales doing things with their cryptocurrencies, and so now we have price action breaking downward, ultimately getting rejected off of 57K, something I suspected could happen for whatever reason for quite some time now. And so with this pullback, my new pullback target, I do believe, since we are kind of getting, we're pushing below, and if we do happen to close below this 47.9 sort of resistance there, I perhaps suspect a pullback target of 43K to even lows of 41K even. Say we reach down to this 200 daily moving average and we interact with that, that would be ultimately kind of very long-term bullish. And if we ultimately find support there, that would be probably what's necessary for us to kind of continue upward to all-time highs if we can't find support kind of any time before that. And so, I mean, I'm still quite long-term bullish on Bitcoin, although with the supercell sell 4 present, similar to the supercell sell 4 and hell kind of present back after the rejection from all-time highs, we could very well see this correction kind of pull out. So after price action kind of accumulated upward in this manner, we did break downward, come back up to retest that, and then now we're continuing downward. And so I mean, a continuation to these levels around the perhaps high 30Ks to low 40Ks is not, would not be surprising if we do not find support kind of where we are kind of currently, or perhaps above this kind of 45K level. There is my short-term bullish bounce zone for us to find support and perhaps confirm a W pattern. And so So what's going on for Bitcoin? We're in a very pivotal stage. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What are you doing with your crypto? Do you trade? Do you hold? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hearing my analysis. Try Engineering Robo free with a link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Check out all the other social media down below. And tune in for the next one.